Hi guys, Jamie and Sarah here. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to share with you how we use Facebook Marketplace to flip furniture for a big profit.
Using Facebook Marketplace can be a little intimidating, especially if you've never used it before. So we're going to show you how to research and find undervalued items to flip. Sarah is the pro here, so she's going to share some helpful tips for you guys to get started.
So I like to search for a few typical things every single day. I'm looking for the special swivel rocker chairs that we can rip the skirts off of and make them look really mid-century and cool. I look for anything wicker and cane that's super trendy right now. What else?
Yeah, we're really just looking for items with high profit margins that we know we have sold really quickly in the past. And they're also easy to move and things like that. We've tried couches in the past, and that's a lot of physical labor, and it's hard to get them, in and out of the house for photos. So we try to stick to smaller items.
Yeah, we've done a lot with coffee tables before, but our biggest profit margins have definitely been the chairs. So when I'm looking for a swivel rocker chair, like this one's pretty cool. It's 15 bucks, and it has that skirt on it, so it's kind of ugly right now, but I can go ahead and rip that off, and I bet I could sell this for $150. So that's a pretty big profit margin. So what I would do then is I would reach out to that person and I would see if I could pick it up right away.
So when you're looking for something to flip, it's really important that you first do marketplace research to see what items are selling for in your area.
So I like to save items to watch them over time to see what they go for. So there's these cool chairs. Someone's trying to sell 40 bucks. And if I want to see if they can get that for these wicker chairs, I can click save. And then she just listed it about an hour ago. So if I see tomorrow that she sold them, that means that that was either a really low price or at least a fair price to get those. But if she had these listed for $150 and in a week they were still there, to me, I know now that she can't get that for those chairs, so I shouldn't be trying to get that either.
These particular ones look like a pretty good buy actually, because
They're kind of cool.
they're kind of cool looking. 20 bucks a piece.
Yeah.
I mean, would that be something you would flip potentially?
Potentially, for sure. I like them.
So usually what do you do then if you want to flip something?
So when I see something that is undervalued that I want to flip, I will go ahead and send them a message and say, are these still available? And once they get back to me, I like to make it very convenient for them by saying, can I come get them right now? So for them, instead of saying like, oh, I'll be there, can you save them for me? I'll be there on Friday, or, I can be there tonight at 7 p.m. with my husband or whatever. If I can come get them right now and they don't have to worry about the 50 people sending them messages to them, that's a good thing to say, yes, please come take them. So that way I can kind of be first in line and I can go get those items. So being available right away is pretty key.
Yeah, so she's checking for these things sometimes several times a day when we're really serious about finding something to flip, because they go quickly, and sometimes people will list them not knowing their true value, so you can actually make money that way. So if we know that chairs typically sell for $50 on Marketplace and we see one on there for $10, we know that that chair is undervalued, and then that would be an item that we would want to flip. So when we're looking for things to flip, we automatically rule out anything that has bad stains or looks like it has pet hair or damage on it. Those items are really hard to clean and look new again, so we usually try to stay away from those. It's just too much work for the money.
For sure. Another thing is to make sure that it doesn't smell like smoke or like an old person. Some of those things can be cleaned, but sometimes for the money, it's not worth your time to spend hours and hours cleaning and scrubbing and making it perfect.
We get this question a lot, but if we do have to clean something, we usually just use a solution of half vinegar and half water to clean something. Sometimes chemical cleaners can cause more blotchiness and more staining, so we avoid those completely.
A lot of times how we find items to flip on Marketplace is by finding items that are either mismarked or have really bad photos. So instead of something that maybe I would call mid-century, if they call it like old ugly desk or even vintage desk, things like that, those items for some reason typically just don't go as fast because people aren't searching for old desks. They might be searching for mid-century desks, but they're not searching for the keyword old. So if I can type that in and find it first, then I can find that item and flip it quickly.
And then the other thing we look for is just bad photos. Like one of the things Sarah said she always searches for is rattan or wicker. Sometimes people just take really bad photos of them and you don't really quite know what the item is. So being able to recognize that and reach out quickly is another way we find really good deals to flip.
Which brings us to our next point of why it's really important to take a good photo. So we have a set in our house that we use every single time. We just kind of shuffle furniture in and out. We have a video that you can check out of how to stage your photos and how to take a nice photo as well. We'll link that below. But it's really important to take a good quality photo. We don't want to make them look fake or like too edited, but taking a nice photo can help people envision it in their own home, and it makes it look clean and just fresh instead of like someone has been storing it in their garage for a long time.
But Sarah does make a good point. If it's too over edited and polished looking, people are going to think it's an ad and just skip right over it, because there can be ads placed in Marketplace now. So a lot of times people just skip over too nice of a photo.
That's true. Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
Yes. So after you take your really nice photo of your item that you're flipping, the next step is to actually post it. So when you post it, you got to make sure that you are pricing it right. So after you've done your research, you know how much it's worth, or at least be a little bit less so that you can get rid of your item quickly. That's what I try to do, because I would rather make a $50 profit on something that I can get rid of today versus maybe a $60 profit on something that I have to hold for 2 weeks. So for me, if I'm a little bit under what someone else is asking, I'd rather get rid of it now and get that sale. So when you post your item, it's really important to use good keywords. So if your item is mid-century or wicker, rattan, those trendy things, like making sure that those are in both your description but also your title. People are searching for those keywords a lot. So another thing that I always offer to people is Porch Pickup.
PPU.
Yes, you will see that word on there a lot, and you might have to Google it if you don't know what it means, but I'm telling you what it means. PPU means Porch Pickup. So what that means is that I set the item out on my porch, someone can come and get it and put money under the mat. It's kind of a nice, safe way to do it for those people so that they don't have to come into my house in case they think I'm a crazy person. And then that way I don't have to let someone into my house in case I think they're a crazy person.
Yeah, so and it's also a lot less awkward if they don't want the item. They can walk away and it's no big deal. There's not that pressure of face-to-face contact. It's like you'd just be walking through a store and seeing an item, and if you don't want it, you just keep walking.
Right. I don't like to pressure people into buying it because I don't want them to be unhappy with it later if they felt like they had to buy it from me and then leave me a bad review. So I would rather let them come to my porch, see it, take it if they want it, put the money under the mat. So if you're wondering if anyone's ever scammed us, no one has scammed us yet. People have always left money under the mat. It's never been a problem. Maybe it'll happen someday, but
if that does happen to us, it's not really going to be that big of a deal to us because we don't really buy expensive items in the first place.
True. But people are really kind and honest and have always done it. So that's how we do it. We love Porch Pickup. I don't have to be home. So I think the biggest hurdle and potentially overwhelming part of Facebook Marketplace is just dealing with all the communication. So especially if you have kind of a really cool item that you're getting 30 to 50 responses for, that can be really overwhelming, and you don't want to make people mad by not responding or taking too long to respond. So I kind of wanted to share with you guys some tips of how I make sure I'm communicating well with everybody, staying super friendly, and just keeping that process easy for me so it's not overwhelming, and also getting back to people quickly so they're not waiting. So what I do is when someone reaches out to me to ask me if that item is still for sale, I always respond by saying, yes, it's still available, but others have been interested. Let me know if you'd like to come look at it. And so I'll say that to everybody right away. I'm not just responding to one person and waiting for them to respond, because half the time people just don't respond. So for me, I'm not gonna wait for that. So I tell people, yes, it's still there, but let me know if you're interested. So once someone tells me that they want to come look at it, then I consider that pending. And so I will tell those other people reaching out that, yes, it's still available, but it's pending. I'll let you know if it falls through. So that way I kind of have backup so that I can definitely get rid of that item today. So once that person comes, And if they want it, then I can actually officially mark it sold once they've paid me.
Yeah, and when she's telling all these people that it's available, she's just copying and pasting that phrase so that she doesn't have to spend 20 minutes, typing that out to each person. So it's convenient for her, and then it also weeds out those people who aren't really that serious, who are just kind of curious about the item. Another
thing I like to do is I just make sure I always stay friendly with people. I try to be just overly kind. In my communication, I never act like
annoyed or...
Yeah.
Just be kind to people. Yep.
It's a nice thing to do. So once I know that I have someone coming to pick up an item from my home, I'll give them my address a couple hours before. I don't give my address out to someone that I'm not sure is coming or even earlier in the day. I wait until right when I know that they're on their way.
That way she's not giving out her address to more people that need to have it. And then also just for security. All right, guys, I think that's all we have for you today. Let us know in the comments if there's any questions you have about how we use Facebook Marketplace to flip furniture. It's pretty straightforward. As Sarah said, you just got to learn how to find those undervalued items and then communicate with people in a way that doesn't waste your time or theirs. We hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for our next video. We're going to show you how you could turn furniture flipping into a full-time business.
You can do it.
Woo!